Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cawfee Talk with Kaewynn. I am your host, Kaewynn, and this is episode 2. Yay! Before I get into today's topics, I have some housekeeping. Or if we were in Disney World, they would call it mousekeeping, LOL. But anyway, I have some housekeeping for today. I made a new website. I think it was Saturday night. I just decided to buy a domain name to see if CawfeeTalk.com was available. And CawfeeTalk.com was not available, and GoDaddy wants $125 for CawfeeTalk.com, which I don't have right now. So I have Cawfee-Talk.com. So that's spelled how the podcast is, CAWFEE-TAWLK.com. Cawfee-Talk.com is the new website, and I'm very excited for it. I designed the whole thing myself. I designed the icon for this podcast. I have this image of myself with me in this lollipop with pink hair that I've been milking for about forever. I've been milking that image for about like 5 years. So I should actually redo that image. But anyways, I took that image, I plastered it all over the website. I color theoried it around pastel rainbows, which is the Bubblegum Mafia logo, which I need to get into the Bubblegum Mafia, which I didn't get into the last episode. I'll do that in a little bit. So it's plastered with Bubblegum Mafia logo colors because all of you are part of the Bubblegum Mafia if you are listening to this. It needs some text updates and some polish, but the majority of it is done. I hope to be getting your messages and questions and aspirations, dreams, problems, anything you want to submit, I will listen to and we'll talk about it on the show. Next up for housekeeping, we're on Spotify. Yay! I never thought I would be on Spotify. That's something new. Yeah, so you can go and subscribe on Spotify, and I believe you'll get updates whenever this podcast is available. I think the easiest way right now to link you to my Spotify would actually Cawfee-Talk.com or anchor.fm/Kaewynn, which is where I first published this podcast. If you go to the Anchor website, you can pick whatever podcast system you use to subscribe to podcasts, because I'm up on 6 platforms right now. Yay! Waiting for iTunes to kick in. I think they're a little delayed, but I should have a link hopefully soon before they all go on vacation, because apparently they're going on vacation. The last thing for housekeeping is I forgot to talk about Bubblegum Mafia last episode. The Bubblegum Mafia is my little community that we have on Discord. It started with my Twitch stream back when Animal Crossing was a big thing. KK Slider makes a bubblegum song, and a very good friend of mine just came up with the idea called Bubblegum Mafia. Shout out to Leia. You are amazing. I miss you. I love you. And ever since, we've just been calling ourselves the Bubblegum Mafia. And the new guilds and whatever games we play coming up, we will continue to be the Bubblegum Mafia. So if you want to join the Bubblegum Mafia, I'll put a link in the description. And then join the Discord and you can see what we're doing and where we're at and what we're playing. And we could have... I need a tagline for the Bubblegum Mafia. So yeah, you can help us create a tagline for the Bubblegum Mafia. And I think that's all I have for housekeeping. Let's get into today's episode, shall we? Woohoo! I believe the big elephant in the room of the what did we watch this week is, no spoilers, Mando, but oh my god, Mando was freaking amazing. There were feelings that I felt during that episode of Mandalorian that I have not felt since a child. My goodness, I am not going to talk about anything, but hopefully you've watched the episode by now because it's amazing. I think every Star Wars fan kind of remembers where they were when they first found out the whole Darth Vader, Luke, I am your father moment. I remember I saw it in the theaters with my dad. He took me to the theaters when they re-released Empire. I think it was in the 90s. And this was my first time watching the movie. He had me watch New Hope, I think, at home on Laserdisc, and then Empire came out of the theaters and we went to see Empire. And that moment when I found out that Luke Skywalker was fighting his father, I was sobbing. I don't know why I sobbed. I was in the theater. It was just a moment, okay? I felt so betrayed. I don't know. It was just, I think we all remember that feeling. And then this episode brought like the childhood feelings of things again. And I'm trying to be as least spoiler as possible, but it was amazing. It felt like I was in that moment again, a child. It was like that Ratatouille moment where Anton Ego goes ahead and eats the little bite of ratatouille that was like his childhood meal, and it zooms in on him and goes into the flashback of all his happy moments of a child. And that was this moment. Yes, it was perfect. It was mwah, mwah. So good. If you are any kind of Star Wars fan, please watch The Mandalorian. You have to. Great. Just perfect. I can't wait for the next season. The other thing I was super excited about this week that totally emotionally wrecked me was Super Mario World. It's a themed land inside of Universal Studios Japan. It's it's not a video game. It's kind of a video game, but it's coming out, or you will be able to visit in February. Oh my goodness. They put out a Nintendo Direct, but it wasn't a video game Nintendo Direct, and they had to make sure that they wrote that in the description, or else you'd have a lot of pretty angry video gamers. So it was just for Super Mario World, and oh my goodness. Everything that they showed, I'm gonna link it in the description below because I also don't want to spoil that. It looks so good. If you are any kind of a Mario fan, please watch this video. You will have emotions as well. I'm not gonna spoil it, but also they're going the RFID band route with these bands that you can get, and you can interact with everything in the area. So the question cubes and like the POW blocks, and you can get power-ups, and it goes into the app on the phone. And then it's just so good. It's so good. Can't wait to go. I was supposed to go to Japan this year, but then all that stuff happened, and yeah, it's okay. Everyone will have to make up for 2020 by having an amazing 2022. We'll just have to have double everything. It's fine. But Super Mario World, Universal Studios Japan, my goodness, super excited about it. And eventually it's going to be coming to Hollywood and Universal Studios in Florida. Yeah, it's exciting. It looks so good. Watch that video. This week, I also rediscovered my love for anime. I don't know how this happened. Actually, I do know how this happened. It happened because I watched a YouTuber who's absolutely addicted to this one anime while looking for a Japan Tokyo hauls. That was a rabbit hole that I totally went down this week. But anyways, down the rabbit hole to the final destination was that now I'm back to being addicted to anime. It's not just normal anime. I guess it's more magical girl anime because, you know me, I need magical girlness in my life. My problem is this year has been stressful, I think, on a lot of us, and I haven't really been able to watch anything depressing on TV or anything sad or anything that will throw me into some type of sad mood. So I feel bad, and I'm just like, I talk to my husband, I'm like, no, I can't, don't put that on, I can't handle that right now, or you can watch that, I'll sit here and watch something else, it's fine. And it just turns out that I've really just been missing anime. So I've gone back and looked back at the horrible times in my life, or things where I've struggled. And I remember the last time, besides, I think I talked about this last episode, that there was one year where I watched like Moana every single day. There was another year where we watched almost every single episode of Pokemon. We sat there and we watched on Netflix like hundreds of episodes of Pokemon, and it made us just leave it on in the background while we're doing stuff on our computer. And I don't know, it's just fun. It was just good. It's just happy. It's happy times. So now we're back to 2020. Things are crazy, and I'm back to anime. I've gone back to my love. What I've been watching right now is a magical girl series called Pretty Cure or Precure. And it's going on. It's been going on for 15 years. If you've seen Glitter Force on Netflix, that's one of the seasons. The way Pretty Cure works is that each season is completely separate from the other, so everything changes, all the looks changes, the girls change, the styles change, the weapons change, the outfits change, the attacks change, the themes change. Everything's different, so each season is not related to the next. And you can start with any of them. It really depends on your style. So if you like princesses, there's a princess season. If you like galaxy and aliens, there's an alien season, which is the one I started on because it looked the prettiest to me. I am now on episode 12. The only thing that sucks about watching anime is that I actually have to pay attention to it because I have to read the subtitles because then I can't be on my phone or anything like that. So I'll be killing two birds with one stone, and I'll watch anime while I sit in my playpen with my rats. When you have rats, you should give them about an hour outside of their cage and playtime. So I've combined the two situations. I now sit in the rat playpen and watch anime. They're like 25 minutes, so I'll watch like 2 or 3 episodes and hang out with my rats, and they'll sit on me and they'll crawl on me while I'm watching these episodes, and it's like just an hour of pure, not joy, but, well, yes, it's joy, but also just like nothing else matters, and it's great, and you have all these cuteness things running around you, and everything that's on the screen or everything that's in the episode is happy, and every problem that they face with love and friendship and kindness and imagination. So it's been getting me through 2020. I'm lying. It's been getting me through this week of 2020 because I just discovered it. But I highly recommend it if you were into anime. I was into anime many, many years ago, about 20-something years ago in high school, and I was like the only person in high school who liked anime, so I was like the outcast, and now everyone loves anime, so it's cool to like anime again, which is great. But yeah, get your hands on it. I did a quick Google search on how to watch Precure and went from there. If you have a suggestion for an anime that you would like me to watch, I am open to suggestions because once I'm done with this series, I think there's 50 episodes in this. No, that can't be right. I think it's 50 episodes. There's 50 episodes in this season. There's a lot of episodes, so I'll get through that, and then I want to watch another Precure season, and then I'll get to the anime that you suggest. Another thing that's been getting me through this pandemic is my Instagramming. I've kind of found the solution to my Instagramming. The normal way I was doing it, or like before, it was just doom scrolling on my one account and just scrolling and not even like knowing what I'm even looking at or really paying attention, just doom scrolling. But I've learned to separate my likes and dislikes and stuff like that. So my old account, or my first account, I think I've had it since around 2011, 2012. So it's an older account. It's kind of like muddy, and there's like a lot going on. It's not very specific. So I go and I create specific Instagram accounts for things I kind of want to look at the time. So this started with my wedding account a couple of years ago. I had my main account, and then I started my wedding account so I could start following all the wedding accounts out there that is out there for things that you need to buy and do and stuff. And then it was like, oh, if I want to get into a wedding mindset, I would just go into that account and then just get into that wedding mindset. So now I do that with things like my rats. I have a rat account. I have a cat account. I have a gaming only account. And then I have my photography account. And then I have a lot of accounts. But they all serve a purpose. They all serve a specific purpose. And it's really what I want to look at the time. And what's great is that these timelines are curated for what I really want to look at. So if I'm really like stressed and I'm like, work sucks, stuff like that, I'll go into my rat account and I'll just follow other rat accounts. And when I'm scrolling, if I'm doom scrolling on it, I'm really just looking at fun, happy rat pictures all day. And it kind of just, it's just good. It's zen. I like it. And this has been how I've been coping with things. So I have a D&D account if I want to look at dice, because I'm a brand new dice goblin. I go into my D&D account and I just start scrolling through there because, yeah, it's not good if you have a spending problem. That's one downside, because on all of these accounts, you know how you can save pictures into folders. I have on each account things I want to buy, and they're all filled with just bullshit stuff that I don't really need, but they're all categorized per the account. So it's great. So last week I had mentioned my rats for the first time, and I actually got the most comments about that. So I think I might go into a little bit of backstory about how I have obtained my rats, or, you know, how to get a rat. Anyway, there was a moment where I was alone because my husband was on the other side of the country and I was on this side of the country. I was in California and I was lonely and I didn't have my cats or anything like that. And I wanted to help foster cats while this was happening, because I was like, oh, maybe, you know, they'll benefit both of us. You know, the cat will have a friend, I will have a friend, you know, the cat will maybe find a forever home, and, you know, I won't be so lonely. But during the pandemic, it seemed like there was a massive wait list. Everyone else had the same idea that I did, and there was a massive wait list for cats. So then I started researching smaller animals like hamsters and just hamsters. So then my husband gets here after I had researched all this hamster stuff, and then we talked about it and we're like, okay, we can get a hamster, but also let's research other things. So I was like, okay. So then I go and I research rats, and oh my god, just as obsessed with rats as I am hamsters. I watched many YouTube videos, and I searched for weeks in my area for an ethical rat breeder, because all the YouTube videos will tell you that you shouldn't buy from a pet store. So I found an ethical rat breeder, and he had a couple of rats left. It was a bit of an older litter, and I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to go for. So I messaged the breeder, I put in my application, and he approved me, and I was like, okay, I don't have a car. How are we going to make this rat transaction? And so I paid for transportation so he can come to my apartment, and I was like, okay. So the breeder pulls up into the parking lot of my apartment complex in this van, comes out, and I meet him, and I was like, okay, I have a little carrier that I could put them in, but he came with a box. I was like, okay, I thought he was just gonna give me the box and I was just gonna go inside and, you know, no one was gonna see me do these rat transactions. But no, he's like, he opens the box. It's a chewy box, and my 2 rats are in there that I had picked, and since I had never seen rats before, this is my first time seeing rats. I squealed in the middle of the parking lot with joy, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cute. And these are my first 2 baby rats that we're getting. It kind of looked like a drug trade in the middle of the parking lot, but I was really hoping no one would see, because the apartment complex office was right there. But yeah, we did the rat trade, and then I came in and I got my rats, and ever since then, oh my god, I fell in love, and they've been so smart, they've been so cuddly. We have like playtime every day, playtime and anime time every day, and they've been absolutely wonderful. And if anyone has any questions about rats, or how to get them, or how to own them, or what you need to do, please hit me up. I will happily talk about my rats. Happily. But that's my introduction to my rats, and now I have 4 altogether, and I hope to one day maybe be a rat breeder. Don't tell my mom. This totally moves me on to my next obsession, which is now, because of the rats, I am now obsessed with hoodies. Here's a secret. I've never owned a hoodie without a zip in the middle. I've always had zipped hoodies. I can't stand hoodies without a zip. I'd never liked putting anything over my head multiple times a day, or it's either because I used to do my hair all the time and I never used to mess up my hair, or I'm just lazy. But I want to say it's a hair thing. But long story short, now I'm obsessed with sweaters or hoodies with the little pocket in the front and not like full zips. One, because I can put my rats in the pocket and they will hang out in my pocket. And two, since I lost 50 pounds, I don't know, I've just been buying a lot of sweaters lately because I'm cold all the time. No one tells you when you lose weight you're just gonna be cold all the time. So yeah, I'm freezing all the time. So yeah, I bought this really nice Hot Topic hoodie. It's a Sailor Moon hoodie, but it's pink and white tie-dye, and I'm very excited about it. And not only has that pocket in the front, but I hope that this is a trend happening in all hoodies everywhere, but there's a special cell phone pocket right in this pocket right here. So you have that main pocket and then you have a cell phone pocket, and it's fantastic. I'm so excited about this. I have a new obsession. I briefly talked about this other obsession that I have. My new obsession is Dungeons and Dragons. I didn't get to talk about it in the first episode, so now we can talk about it in the second episode. This year is the first year that I had started Dungeons and Dragons. I've always wanted to, never really pulled the trigger. It seemed like my life went from 0 Dungeons and Dragons to all Dungeons and Dragons now that my husband is working on Baldur's Gate 3. Spoiler alert. We'll get to that maybe in another episode. But yeah, so my life went from 0 Dungeons and Dragons to all Dungeons and Dragons. It went from maybe talking about playing this year to actually playing. And now I'm in 2 groups and 2 different characters in each. But funny story, I never wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons because the joke always was, since I moved to California, I've always talked about Dungeons and Dragons. Oh yeah, I want to play, I want to do this. And then everyone's always make the joke, oh haha, with your accent, you can be a goblin. But I always wanted to be a pretty elf. So it's always like, no, you're a New Yorker, you got the New York accent. Oh, you would be great as a goblin. I was like, oh great, thanks for the suggestion. But no, now I get to be a pretty elf. I'm a pretty elf in both of my campaigns. But now that I am a pretty elf in both of my campaigns, I kind of want one of them to die so I can secretly be a goblin. Now that I'm in it and I know it, I'm familiar with it, I think I want one of my characters to be like a fun goblin style character. And for all these years, I always wanted to be that pretty elf, but now it's like, oh no. I think I want one of them to die so I can be a goblin, or at least like a tiefling or something fun. Well, one of them is a wood elf, and then one of them is a noble elf. And the noble elf is kind of like not sassy, but like stoic, more reserved. And the wood elf is a little bit more happy-go-lucky, a little bit more wondrous and wondering about the world and more like new experience type of thing. And then the cleric, high elf, noble elf is like more reserved. I have these 2 different characters, but I don't know. I just might be really bad at role-playing. But I hope to pick up on it as we go along, and we'll see if maybe I start streaming those games. Let me know if you're interested in seeing those games be streamed, because right now I've just been kind of intimately playing with my friends in these 2 different groups, but it's been so much fun. And one of them I get to use digital dice, and one of them I can use like real dice, which goes back to my original situation where I'm a dice goblin. I'm obsessed with buying dice, and dice are pretty, and oh my god, why didn't anyone tell me about this to convince me to start playing? Another addiction. It's fine. And on the final note, I want to end these with a pet update because I've been talking about my rats a lot lately. I have my OG pets, my kitties that all of you know and love. I have Winston, and then Willow, and Mochi's with my mom right now because we can't get her over with the pandemic. When I moved to California, I left my cats with my mom for a little bit, and then we got 2 of them over, and then I need to get 1 more over. But I think my mom and Mochi have become best friends during this time. Anyways, my other loves, my cats. This week, Winston, oh my goodness, he opened a door for the first time. I know that sounds funny, but okay, I have Willow, who's almost feral, adopted from Best Friends Animal Shelter, and then Winston we got from a breeder. Winston, you can very much tell, has not lifted a paw for anything. So when he wants to open doors, he'll meow at the door, and we have to come open the door for him. But today, or like the other day, he was like super determined to get into the bedroom and he opened the door for the first time. We're so proud of him. It was great. But yeah, that's the end of the updates for this week. And now for things I want to pimp out, things that I want to promote. I started a diet bet. If you're not familiar with Diet Bet, it's an app or a website that you can use where you and your friends can make a game and you can pool in some money. And I know it sounds like scamish, but it's not, I promise. I've been using it for years. You pool in a certain amount of money and it's a weight loss competition. If you lose 4% of your body weight in 4 weeks, I can do it, it's doable. You win your money back, plus you split the pool. So if people have lost, the pool gets bigger. It's great. I'm starting a diet bet. I'll put a link in the description below because I want to lose more weight and I've used it in the past and it's helped me immensely. And you can join my diet bet. It's $20 to enter. And if you lose 4%, I don't know, if you just Google like 4% of whatever your weight is, you'll get an idea of what you need to lose. Sometimes it's maybe like 5 pounds you need to lose in a month, which seems to be pretty doable. And it's a nice community where we can all cheer each other on and, have a good time. But yeah, if you put in your $20 and you lose your 4%, you get your $20 back. Plus, if someone else drops out or if someone loses, the pot gets bigger and you might win more money. All the money that I usually win on Diet Bet goes back into paying for more diet bets. So usually I'll put in my $20 or a main game starts at $35. I'll do the $35 bet and then I'll win and then they'll put the $35 in your account and you can choose to use that $35 back on Diet Bet, or you can just cash it out to your PayPal account. I just use it again on Diet Bet to do another challenge. I'll put in a link for that in the description below, and I would be honored if you would join me January 1st on my weight loss diet bet because I would like more motivation and that would be great. If you're not familiar, many years ago, I used to be over 330 pounds. Then I lost over 150 pounds. And then like the past 2 years, I've gained some back. And then now I lost it all again. And I need to lose maybe like 10 to 15 pounds more to get like below or like my goal weight, but like below my goal weight, which I've never done before. And I'm super excited about it. So please join this journey with me. There's going to be a link below. And I'm excited. Anyway, that's the end of episode 2. Please hit me up on 𝐶awfee-𝒷𝒷𝓁𝑒𝑔𝓊𝓂. Send me a message. I'm so excited about it. And have a great week. Thanks, guys. Bye.